What makes a city a good place to live? Is it the tall buildings? Is it the wide roads? For many years we thought so. We built our cities for cars and for speed. But, we forgot about the most important thing: the people who live in them. A well-planned city is not just a collection of buildings and streets. It is a place designed for human beings. It is a place where people can walk, play, meet, and live a good life. It is a city that feels like a home, not just a machine for working and moving. City planning is the art and science of organizing land, resources, and life to create these wonderful places. It is about thinking carefully before we build. Good city planning is very important. It affects our health, our happiness, and our connection to others. When cities are planned poorly, we see many problems. We see long hours spent in traffic jams. We see pollution that makes the air hard to breathe. We see lonely neighborhoods where people do not know their neighbors. We see a lack of safe places for children to play. But when a city is planned well, the opposite happens. Life becomes easier and more enjoyable. We spend less time stressed in cars and more time walking or biking. We have clean air and beautiful parks. We feel safe and connected to our community. A truly great city puts people at its center. It asks simple questions. Can a child walk safely to school? Can an elderly person sit on a bench and watch the world go by? Are there lively public squares where friends can meet for coffee? Are the streets interesting and pleasant to walk along? These are the questions that matter. The answers to these questions show us the true quality of a city. A well-planned city is designed at a human scale. This means everything is built to make people feel comfortable and welcome. It is a city that invites you to stay, not just pass through as quickly as possible. In this essay, we will explore what makes a city the best planned in the world. We will use Copenhagen, a city I have studied for many decades, as our main example. Copenhagen was not always a paradise for people. It was once choked with cars, just like many other cities. But over the last 50 years, it has transformed itself step by step. It has chosen to prioritize people over cars, and public life over private isolation. We will look at its green spaces, its amazing transportation system, its lively public squares, and its smart buildings. By understanding Copenhagen, we can learn valuable lessons for building better cities for everyone, everywhere. The most important feature of a well-planned city is what I call the human scale. This means that the city is designed to fit the human body and our senses. We are walking animals. We experience the world at about 5 kilometers per hour. At this speed, we can see details. We can smell the flowers in a garden. We can hear the laughter of children playing. We can stop and talk to a neighbor. A city designed at the human scale has narrow streets, interesting building fronts, and many things to see and do at eye level. It is a city that feels cozy and detailed, not vast and empty. It is a city made for walking and for being. In Copenhagen, we see the human scale everywhere. The city center has many pedestrian-only streets, like the famous Strøget. These streets were once full of cars. Now they are full of people. The buildings along these streets are not tall, glassy towers. They are usually 5 or 6 stories high. This height makes the street feel like an outdoor room. It is not overwhelming. The ground floors of these buildings are full of shops, cafes, and restaurants with large windows. This creates what we call soft edges. It makes the walk interesting and safe. You are never just walking past a blank wall. There is always something to look at. This focus on the human experience is a deliberate choice. For many years, city planners were obsessed with the bird's eye view. They designed cities from high up, creating patterns that looked good on a map, but felt terrible on the ground. Wide, straight highways and giant, isolated buildings were the result. This is the car's perspective. For a person on foot, these spaces are scary and boring. Copenhagen turned this idea upside down. It started to measure success, not by how many cars could move through the city, but by how many people chose to walk, bike, and spend time in its public spaces. This is a radical change in thinking. The result of designing for the human scale is a city that is alive. Life happens between the buildings. When streets are comfortable and interesting, people use them. They don't just rush from their home to their car to their office. They stroll, they sit on benches, they watch street performers, they meet friends. This public life is the soul of a city. It builds community and a sense of belonging. It makes people happier and healthier. A city that forgets the human scale may be efficient for machines, but it becomes a lonely and sterile place for the people who are its heart. A great city needs a green heartbeat. It needs parks, gardens, and pockets of nature woven into the fabric of urban life. These green spaces are not just decorations. They are essential for our well-being. They are the lungs of the city, cleaning the air and cooling the streets on hot days. They are places for recreation, where we can play sports, have a picnic, or simply lie in the grass and read a book. They provide a vital connection to the natural world, which is something we all need. A city without green spaces is a concrete jungle, a stressful and unhealthy environment. A well-planned city understands that nature is a necessity, not a luxury. Copenhagen is a wonderful example of a city with a strong green heartbeat. It has a rule that every resident must be able to reach a park or a beach within a 15-minute walk from their home. This is a simple but powerful policy. It means that nature is never far away. The city is full of different kinds of green spaces. There are large, historic parks like the King's Garden, where people have gathered for centuries. There are also small, local pocket parks tucked into residential neighborhoods. Even the cemeteries in Copenhagen are used like parks, with people jogging and pushing strollers along their beautiful paths. These green spaces are designed for people to use. They are not just pretty lawns to be looked at from a distance. They have benches, playgrounds, outdoor gyms, and spaces for community events. The city's harbor, which was once an industrial and polluted area, has been cleaned up so completely that people now swim in it during the summer. Special harbor baths have been built, creating unique urban beaches right in the city center. This transformation shows a deep commitment to making every part of the city livable and enjoyable. It turns a former industrial barrier into a beloved public space. The benefits of this green network are enormous. Physically, it encourages an active lifestyle and improves public health. Mentally, being around nature reduces stress and improves our mood. Socially, parks are democratic spaces where people from all walks of life can mix and interact. Environmentally, these spaces help manage rainwater, reduce the urban heat island effect, and provide habitats for birds and insects. A city that invests in its green heartbeat is investing in the long-term health and happiness of its citizens. It is creating a resilient and beautiful place to live for generations to come. How we move around our city has a huge impact on our daily lives. A well-planned city offers a symphony of transportation options, where walking, cycling, and public transport work together in harmony. The goal is not just to move people from one point to another. The goal is to make the journey itself pleasant, safe, and efficient. For too long, the car has been the conductor of this symphony, drowning out all the other instruments. A people-friendly city gives the car a much smaller role. It makes it easy and attractive to choose healthier and more sustainable ways to travel. This creates a city that is quieter, cleaner, and less stressful. Copenhagen is world-famous for its cycling culture, and this is no accident. It is the result of decades of dedicated planning. The city has built a comprehensive network of protected cycle tracks. These are not just painted lines on a busy road. They are physically separated from car traffic, often with a curb. This makes cycling safe and comfortable for everyone, from young children to elderly citizens. The cycle tracks are wide, well-maintained, and connected, so you can get almost anywhere in the city by bike. There are even special traffic lights for cyclists and green waves that time the lights to a typical cycling speed. Of course, not every trip can be made by bike. That is why a great public transport system is also crucial. Copenhagen has an efficient network of trains, metro, and buses that are all integrated. The metro is modern, driverless, and runs 24 hours a day. The stations are clean, safe, and designed to be close to where people live and work. You can use the same ticket for all forms of transport, making it simple to switch from a train to a bus. The system is designed to be the easy choice. It is often faster and more convenient to take the metro or a train than to get stuck in traffic with a car. This combination of excellent cycling infrastructure and reliable public transport means that most people in Copenhagen do not need a car for their daily life. In fact, more than 60% of residents commute to work or school by bike. This has incredible benefits. It dramatically reduces traffic congestion, noise, and air pollution. It creates a much quieter and more pleasant street environment. It also keeps the population healthy and active by making walking, cycling, and public transit the most attractive options. Copenhagen has created a transportation system that truly serves its people, not just their vehicles. You know, the true measure of a city's quality isn't really found inside its private homes or offices. It's actually found in the spaces in between, the squares, the plazas, the sidewalks, and the waterfronts. This is what I like to call life between buildings. These public spaces are the city's living rooms. They're where public life unfolds, where we meet others, celebrate, protest, and simply be part of a community. A well-planned city, you see, deliberately creates and nurtures these spaces. It understands that high-quality public spaces are essential for a healthy society. They're not just leftover land, they're the main stage for our shared urban experience. Copenhagen, for instance, has truly mastered the art of creating wonderful public spaces. The city is dotted with squares of all sizes, each with its own unique character. Some are grand and historic, like Amagertorv, with its beautiful fountain and bustling crowds. Others are small and intimate, hidden away in quiet courtyards. But what they all have in common is that they're designed for people. They're furnished with good, comfortable benches, positioned to soak up the sunlight, and protected from wind and traffic noise. Often, you'll find cafes with outdoor seating, which really helps to animate the space and make it feel safe. The transformation of these spaces is a key part of Copenhagen's story. Many of the city's most beloved squares were once used as parking lots. The city took a brave, step-by-step approach. First, it would remove a few parking spaces and put out some benches for a summer. People started using them. The next year, more parking was removed and more seating or a playground was added. Over time, people realized just how much better the square was without cars. This gradual process allowed the public to adapt and embrace the change. It showed that if you provide good quality public spaces, people will come. This life between buildings is what makes a city feel vibrant and safe. When squares and streets are full of people doing different things, walking, sitting, talking, playing, the area feels alive. This natural surveillance by many eyes makes the space safer than an empty one watched by a security camera. It fosters social trust and a sense of community. In these spaces, we see our fellow citizens. We're reminded that we're part of something larger than ourselves. A city that invests in its public spaces is investing in social cohesion, democracy, and the simple joy of being together. The buildings in a city are not just isolated objects. They are the walls that shape our public spaces and the containers for our private lives. How they are designed and arranged has a profound effect on the city's character and livability. A well-planned city thinks about buildings in a smart way. It is not just about making them tall or architecturally dramatic. It is about how they meet the street, how they relate to their neighbors, and how they contribute to a sustainable and pleasant environment. Smart buildings help create a smart city, one that is comfortable, efficient, and human-friendly. In Copenhagen, you see a focus on what is called mixed-use development. This is a simple but powerful idea. Instead of having separate zones for living, working, and shopping, a well-planned city mixes them together. A typical building in Copenhagen might have shops or cafes on the ground floor, offices on the next few floors, and apartments on the top floors. This creates lively, active neighborhoods that are busy throughout the day and evening. People can live, work, and shop all within a short walk or bike ride. This reduces the need for long commutes and makes neighborhoods more convenient and interesting. The design of the buildings themselves is also important. The soft edges we mentioned earlier are a key feature. Buildings that meet the sidewalk with blank walls, tiny windows, or garage doors create dead zones. They are unpleasant and unsafe to walk past. In Copenhagen, new developments are encouraged to have active ground floors. This means large windows, visible entrances, and uses that invite public interaction. The buildings are also often arranged around a shared courtyard. These courtyards provide a semi-private green space for residents, a safe place for children to play, and a spot for neighbors to meet. It brings community life right to people's doorsteps. Furthermore, Copenhagen is a leader in sustainable building. New buildings are required to be highly energy efficient, with excellent insulation, smart windows, and sometimes green roofs that help manage rainwater and cool the building. This focus on sustainability is not just good for the planet. It also makes the buildings cheaper to run and more comfortable to live in. By combining mixed-use planning, people-friendly ground floors, and sustainable design, Copenhagen creates buildings that are more than just structures. They are active contributors to a better city life and a healthier planet. To truly understand what makes Copenhagen so successful, it is helpful to compare it to a different model of city planning, the sprawling, car-dependent metropolis. This type of city is common in many parts of the world, especially in North America and Australia. It is a city designed around the automobile. It is characterized by vast suburbs of single-family homes, connected by a web of wide highways. Shopping happens in giant malls surrounded by huge parking lots. Offices are located in isolated business parks. Everything is separated and the distances are too great to walk or bike. Life in a sprawling city is fundamentally different. Your daily routine is dictated by the car. You wake up in a quiet residential street, get into your car in your private garage, and drive to work, often sitting in traffic. After work, you drive to a supermarket or a mall to do your shopping. You might drive your children to a park or to a friend's house. There is very little opportunity for spontaneous social interaction. Neighbors rarely see each other. The public realm, the streets and sidewalks, is often empty and purely functional, a place to move through as quickly as possible, not a place to be. In Copenhagen, the experience is the opposite. You might walk your child to school, stopping to chat with another parent on the way. Then you might bike to work along a pleasant, tree-lined cycle track. At lunchtime, you can walk to a nearby square to eat with colleagues. After work, you can pick up groceries from a local shop on your way home. In the evening, you might meet friends at a cafe just a few blocks away. Your day is filled with movement, fresh air, and interactions with other people. The city itself is your living room, your gym, and your meeting place. This comparison is not about saying one way of life is morally better than another. It is about understanding the consequences of different planning choices. The sprawling city model creates isolation, long commutes, pollution, and a sedentary lifestyle. It consumes vast amounts of land and energy. The dense, mixed-use, people-friendly model of Copenhagen fosters community, health, and sustainability. It creates a city that is more resilient, equitable, and, for many people, simply more joyful. The contrast shows us that we have a choice in how we build our cities, and therefore how we live our lives. Why do people who live in Copenhagen consistently rank among the happiest in the world? The design of their city plays a very large role. The joy of living there comes from a collection of small, everyday experiences that are made easy and pleasant by good city planning. It is the feeling of safety when your child cycles to school. It is the simple pleasure of sitting in a sunny square with a coffee. It is the convenience of being able to get everything you need within a short walk from your home. It is the sense of community that comes from constantly seeing and interacting with your fellow citizens. One of the biggest sources of joy is the freedom from the stress of a car-centric life. People in Copenhagen spend very little time stuck in traffic. They are not burdened by the high costs of owning, insuring, and parking a car. Their daily commute is often a form of gentle exercise, a bike ride that clears the mind and energizes the body. This reduction in daily stress and the increase in physical activity has a massive positive impact on both mental and physical health. The city's quiet streets and clean air further contribute to a sense of calm and well-being that is hard to find in a noisy, polluted metropolis. There is also a deep sense of trust and safety. The city's design, with its lively streets and public spaces, promotes eyes on the street. This natural surveillance makes people feel safe at almost any time of day. This trust extends beyond personal safety. The city is clean and well-maintained, which shows that people respect their shared environment. There is a feeling that everyone is working together to make the city a better place. This high level of social trust is a key ingredient for a happy society, and the physical design of the city helps to build and reinforce it every single day. Ultimately, people love living in Copenhagen because the city respects them. It treats them as valuable participants in public life, not as obstacles to traffic flow. It provides them with beautiful, functional, and accessible spaces. It gives them the freedom to choose how they want to move and live. It is a city that is built for human flourishing. The happiness of its residents is not an accident. It is the direct result of a half-century of thoughtful, patient, and people-focused decisions. It proves that when you plan a city for people, you create not just an efficient place, but a happy one. The story of Copenhagen is not a fairy tale. It is a practical guide full of lessons that cities all over the world can learn from. The most important lesson is to change the way we think and measure success. For decades, the goal of transport planning was to improve traffic flow for cars. We need to shift our focus. The new goal should be to improve the quality of life for people. We should start measuring how many people are walking, how many are cycling, and how much time they are spending in our public spaces. What you measure is what you get. If you start counting people, You will start planning for people. Another key lesson is to be brave and to start small. Copenhagen did not ban all cars from its city center overnight. It started by closing one street for a summer festival. It removed a few parking spaces to create a small plaza. This step-by-step experimental approach is crucial. It allows people to see and experience the benefits of the changes. It builds public support and reduces political opposition. Many cities are afraid to take parking spaces away from cars. Copenhagen has shown that if you replace a parking space with something better, a bench, a playground, a place for a cafe, people will quickly forget about the car that used to be there. Cities must also invest in high-quality alternatives. You cannot simply tell people not to drive. You must give them excellent, safe, and convenient options. This means building a connected network of protected bicycle lanes, not just a few random painted lines. It means creating a public transport system that is frequent, reliable, clean, and easy to use. The quality of the design matters. A comfortable bench is more inviting than a cheap plastic one. A smooth, wide cycle path is more appealing than a bumpy, narrow one. Investing in quality shows respect for the public and encourages them to use these new options. Finally, the most profound lesson from Copenhagen is patience. Transforming a city takes a long time. The changes in Copenhagen have happened over 50 years, with one small improvement building on the last. There was no single grand plan, but rather a consistent direction and a commitment to the vision of a city for people. Every city, no matter its size, culture, or climate, can start this journey. It can start by making one street better for pedestrians. It can install one good bench in a sunny spot. It can create one safe bike lane. By taking these small, people-first steps, any city in the world can begin the journey of becoming a better place to live.